You know, it's funny. And me and Tia would get in arguments about this because he'd be like, "Are you looking at what other people are doing? Are you paying attention to how other people are showing up in craft beer?" And I'd be like, "No, I'm not paying attention to what anyone else is doing because I don't, in my mind, this wasn't about craft beer necessarily. This was about making phenomenal art and creating extraordinary branding, you know, and coming right out of the Beats family, because I had just left Beats when me and Tio really started jumping into this and watching how Beats turn sound, something as simple as sound, into this culturally relevant and emotional experience. That's where I was sort of, that's the headspace that I was in, and what we wanted to do, or what I wanted us to do, for Crowns and Hops. Because again, when we first started, there was still a point of entry for people to truly understand what the difference between big beer and craft beer was. So we couldn't necessarily just lead with beer, because if you say you don't like beer, you wouldn't relate to what we were creating. So we had to lead with creative and branding that felt more connected to you as an individual, and really spoke to your spirit and how you felt about the kind of products that you purchase and the kind of brands that you trust, and less about just beer on shelves, you know, this beautiful, you know, liquid inside of a can. And that's what we did. We were very specific about how we curated these experiences, the content that we produced. We knew it was very important for you to see what we look like inside of the space, similar to what Beats did. They showed us our color wearing and wanting great sound. We showed us our color wanting really amazing premium craft beer. Us sitting inside of brewery spaces, standing in front of tap handles, pouring beer, standing in front of tanks, making beer, graining, mashing, showing how we can be you know, a really important part of the process. And that's something no one had ever seen before. And they didn't even understand how beer was made. You know, it's funny how so many people were like, "Wait, how is beer made? Doesn't it just like show up on shelves and then we drink it?" And then you're like, "No, there's so much science behind it, and there's so the flavor profiles and the hop varietals are so much bigger than what you think." And we wanted people to look at our products. Well, actually, it takes to look at our brand, right? Because this is before we even had products on shelves. If you saw that Crowns and Hop symbol, or that Dope and Dank symbol, which was our first name, you intrinsically knew this was something that I could relate to. This was a brand that made sense for me. Tio and Beny are doing this on behalf of us, not just trying to push product, you know, down your throat and have you spending money. It was never about that for us. And we feel like we really were able to accomplish that, you know, even at our own, even at the detriment of us sometimes, because there are many times we were sitting at home broke trying to figure it out and beating each other up to be as perfect as we can be. But I think when you care that much about the creativity and you care that much about the details, it resonates with people when they look at your branding, and they themselves appreciate that you care just as much as they do about the products that they purchase.